Let's do what we do. MulTYversed. Oh, yes, yes. What's up, people? We are going to have a great show this week. We got a lot to talk about, but we're not going to talk about anything until we get this intro out. So come on and let's get it started, man. Welcome to the MulTYversed.
What do you know about the multiverse?
You see it. We see it. Jurassic World Dominion. The dinosaurs are back. And they're in the city. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? What's up, MulTYversed? I'm so glad to see you guys. As always, it is such a special event when we meet up like this. And we have the whole team here. This is awesome.
We do.
We are all on the panel together. This is a monumental moment. But I'm gonna go around the round table real quick. If you watch the show, if you don't watch the show, these are the usual suspects. Go around the table. This nice little square table we're all at. Go around the table, introduce yourselves. Let's start right here to is that my left? I don't know.
No, you're right.
It's
you're right,
left.
my left.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, is that me? Oh.
Okay, I need to go that way. All right, introduce yourself.
No, you had it right. Okay. All right, in the top corner of your screen. My name's Holly Noon. I am the only female on this podcast as a co-host. So how can you forget? But yeah, tune in every Wednesday at 6:30, where you can find me and the rest of my crew.
Hey, let's go down here to the bottom. I'm doing this good. Let's do this to the bottom.
Minnie, your turn.
Hey, how you doing? My name is our new member of the group. Hey, Minnie Baby Broken here. And as you can see, we outside.
We is outside.
I like your setup.
Yeah, it is. It's very pleasant. Very, very, very calming. Very calming. Now let's go over. Hold up. Let's go. I got it. It's over there. I got him.
Yo, what's up? My name's Tyrone Thornhill. I'm a comedian. I do these shows. Catch me every week, 6:30 in MulTYverse. What up?
Yo,
that's my new personality.
The funny part of all of that you just did is that will be you in 6 months. Just keep on New Yorking it up. And
yeah.
I want to be like, yo, what up, yo?
Yeah.
Straight out the bricks. Straight out Brooklyn. Yo,
his show is Tim's too. His matching Tim's.
Oh yeah, I got those on right now. These are my house Tims. I got the house Tims right inside the door, so I can take so I don't get the carpet dirty. You know what I mean? I got the rug over here. I don't want to get the rug messed up.
Yeah.
But guys, like I said, it's always good to be here with you guys, and we are here for another week. We got Jurassic World on the menu this week, and I know everybody here is pretty excited. You guys love dinosaurs. Some of you were there when the dinosaurs were here. We're not going to talk about who, but somebody was there. Probably the guy with the gray hair. I don't know. But listen, this is, I think, the 5th installment. Am I correct?
That sounds about right.
Six.
Six. Yeah, 3 old ones, and this is part of the 3rd of the newer.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the 6th installment of the Jurassic Park world that has now left the park and is in the entire world. I don't know. Have you guys seen the trailer yet? Because I feel like you have seen the trailer. Everybody here seen the trailer?
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at watching it again, but
good.
Yeah, I love the trailer.
The audience has not seen the trailer. So for your viewing pleasure, we have the Jurassic World trailer that will be dropping. The movie actually will be dropping on the 10th, but we thought it only right that the MulTYverse come in here and dissect it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play this Jurassic World. Okay, my producer had a little funny stuff going on in here, but anyway.
Sorry, my puppy wants some attention.
Let me not waste somebody else's time. This is the Jurassic World Dominion 2022 trailer airing right now.
We gotta go. Gonna have to break a window to get inside that thing. Hope nobody's afraid of heights.
Don't move.
Blue, you had a baby. That's impossible.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
I promise you, I am gonna get her back. Genetic power has now been unleashed. We made a terrible mistake.
The doomsday clock might be about out of time.
If our world's gonna survive, what matters is what we do now.
I could use your expertise.
You coming or what?
A baby raptor? I made a promise we would bring her home.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. What?
Everybody hold on to somebody.
That can't be right. What is that?
Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Run!
See? Not so bad.
Wow. Okay, guys.
Did we just watch the whole movie?
It felt like
Right?
that was like a pretty long
Yeah.
but I can appreciate it. So
Yeah.
everybody's already seen it, so that wasn't a huge surprise. If you are just now joining us, we are talking about Jurassic World Dominion, which will be debuting on cinematic screen June the 10th. So keep an eye out for that, but we're discussing what our immediate reactions are and what our predictions are for this movie. So Holly, based on the trailer that we know you've already seen, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be, the probably the best version of the Jurassic Park? I can't even call it a trilogy. What do you call a six? What do you call a six? A double trilogy? What do you?
A septilogy. That's 7. I'm just kidding. There's no. I think we would just call it a saga at this point.
Or canon, yeah, but
Yeah.
saga.
Yeah.
All right. So Holly, what do you think? This means for the saga of the Jurassic Park world franchise.
I hope it's good. I mean, they have all the people from all the main characters. Well, most of the main characters from the first 3 movies, and then they're combining them with the newer main star. So I hope it's good. But it just seems like it's a lot to kind of wrap up in one movie. So I'm curious at the runtime and how they're going to tie up any loose ends with all of it.
Okay.
So hopefully it's good.
Tyrone, what do you think? What do we have to look forward to with the new Jurassic World Dominion?
I mean, for me, it looks a lot like if Fast and the Furious had dinosaurs. Like, it seems like that's the way that the franchise is sort of going, where it's just like crazy action, crazy location. Let's get all the faces that we recognize and put them all in one place. I wouldn't be surprised if the little kids from the first movie made a little appearance or whatever, and they got like they showed up in like a Nissan Skyline or something and just like drifted in, was like, "What's up, y'all?" Like that kind of shit. So,
drifting on the ice.
Yeah, like but that's what it feels like. So it's and I wouldn't be surprised if this so this is like the last one for a little while. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, hey, these Jurassic Park movies make a lot of money. We should just keep doing this thing. And my prediction for next one is dinosaurs in space. Why not?
Minnie, this is the 6th installment of the Jurassic franchise. And we have some old faces, but we also have some new faces. I want you guys to take a look at the cast of the new. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. We have one Sam Neill as Alan Grant. We were very familiar with him. Laura Dern, of course. Jeff Goldblum, Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, and then we see some unfamiliar names, like the Miss DeWanda Wise, the very beautiful, I must say, DeWanda Wise. Then we have Isabella Sermon. We have Omar Sy, who is also a new member of the cast. Danielle Data, and then Mamadou Alti, which I'm not sure. Was he in a previous one?
I don't know about a previous Jurassic Park movie or Jurassic movie, or whatever we're calling it, but he's been around in some different stuff, and he's a good actor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then we have Justin Smith, who I do believe was in the last one, correct?
Yeah, he's super annoying.
Franklin,
he's the tech guy.
Yeah, Franklin. Yeah. So, and then we have some maybe not so notable faces, but this is kind of rounds out the cast of food for the dinosaurs, because that's usually what it seems like a lot of times. Is they wind up being meals for some dinosaurs. So now I know what you're thinking over there, Minnie. You're thinking I brought up Miss DeWanda Wise, but where else have we seen DeWanda? Because I've seen DeWanda in a couple of films, and she's pretty stout. And I noticed in the trailer that they showed a lot of Miss DeWanda Wise. How do you feel about her character? Just based off what you've seen. And have you seen her in anything other than what we've seen her in today, which is this trailer?
Is that my girl from what they did on Netflix? They did a reimagined version of the movie. That Spike Lee movie. Do the Right Thing. Is that her?
I think so. Yeah, let me see the name of that. I'm getting the name of that. She's Got to Have It, right?
They did a revision of the movie.
Yeah, she was the main character in that.
Yeah,
but they did a show. Yeah.
She's Got to Have It.
She's a great actress. She's really good actress. And she is fine.
Yes.
Ooh, she fine. She is gorgeous. So I'm not mad at that at all. I hope she survives. I don't want a little Jurassic Park to go ahead and get her head off. I need to see them eyes popping, and she got some beautiful eyes. I will say though that I am very surprised not reading right here at the bottom. As you can see, people, it says Jurassic World Dominion. I thought it was Jurassic World Dominicans. So that is brand new. I was like, I know they're gonna have boats for trying to get, got try to get to America. I just didn't know. So yeah, that's a cool little thing. But yeah, no, I'm glad she's in the movie, and I hope she doesn't get eaten, because she is gorgeous and a good actress.
Yeah. Let's hope for that reason, that she doesn't get eaten. But listen, we also Tyrone have I think probably the star of Jurassic World Lost. What was it? What was the one before this? Lost. What was it? Lost World.
Jurassic.
It was
honestly, I've lost track.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to it. But the star of that show was none other than one velociraptor named Blue.
Yeah.
Blue was the absolute star of that movie all the way to the very end.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Okay, Fallen Kingdom. Well, the Blue was the reason the kingdom fell. Okay, let's just let's put it out there.
That raptor.
Yeah, Blue was all over the place, doing a whole lot of stuff, getting into trouble, and saving the day and all of that. But I won't go into everything that Blue did. It just in case you want to go check out that part of the franchise. But he is also back, or she, excuse me, is also back. And this time I believe has a little one. And I think the story takes off with her little one being kidnapped and then all hell breaking loose. So it seems almost to be centered around Blue again. So
Right.
I enjoy it. I think the Velociraptor, they've kind of, let us see the growth and the development of their learning capabilities and the way they communicate and everything like that. And I think it's going to be fun to see. What are you guys most excited for with this Jurassic World movie? I know you're excited, Minnie, for it to be in the Dominican Republic, but outside of that, what really are you excited about this movie? What really excites you about this movie?
Oh, me again?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I'll answer. I answer questions. That's what I do. Except for the cops. All right. So I like the fact that my boy is back. If y'all don't know, y'all will right now. One of my homies, and I don't mean in real life, but he doesn't know that he's my best friend, Jeff Goldblum. That's my dog. He is so strange, and I believe in another life I'm him. I really am.
I will make you jealous real quick, Minnie. I met Jeff Goldblum at a convention one time, and while we were taking a picture, he rubbed my lower back.
Oh,
I would have
very
never
sensually.
walked my back again.
Yeah, hey. He
Or
was
the
like,
shirt
yeah,
that
it
you were
was.
wearing.
I've never felt safer in my life.
Was he a nice person though? Was he nice?
Yeah, he was really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
he gave me a back rub.
Yeah, I was about to say, just gave him a whole back rub, man. That constitutes as pretty nice to me.
Yeah, it wasn't a mean back rub. It was a nice one.
Yeah.
Now, Tyrone, other than your chance encounter with Jeff Goldblum again, what are you most excited for with the Jurassic World Dominion?
I feel like this one's going to give us a lot of like really crazy ass moments of like ridiculous dinosaur action. I feel like this movie is made for that. It'll be some of the craziest stuff we've gotten out of Jurassic Park, and I think that's just it's kind of the direction it has to go. I mean, we're so far, into this now that you got to go wild. So, kidnap a baby raptor, and now the dinosaurs with the feathers, that one could swim too. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's just go crazy and go all out. This is what I'm talking about. Like, when you make these movies, just go all out.
Yeah, we can all hope that they go all out and kill as many people as they possibly can.
Yeah.
In the shortest amount of time possible. I think that is absolute. Running for your life on screen is the best.
Nobody should make
running
it
for their lives or trying to escape dinosaurs and that whole motorcycle scene where he's going through the. I cannot wait to see the rest of that and the transitions from those raptors trying to eat his little behind up.
The raptors going to get motorcycles too. They're going to end up on it. It's going to be a whole thing. They're going to find raptor helmets.
They're going to have raptors driving Teslas. Teslas drive the raptors. Holly, what are you most excited for in this new film?
To see what dinosaurs they possibly maybe made some new ones. Just because in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I'll remember some of them escaped, the ones that and then at the end they were kind of putting a bunch of, it looks like some dinosaurs they were making in the tubes or something, in a suitcase. So I'm wondering if they ended up potentially selling off some of those secrets to the other countries, because remember they were going to use them for war as defense mechanisms. Yeah, dino soldiers. And so I'm wondering where that kind of manifested after they escaped, if they were able to recapture them and then made more dinosaurs. Because you do see that the doctor, he was like, we made a really bad mistake, kind of messing with genetics.
They let loose
a
bunch of dinosaurs in that mountain. It was over.
Yeah, we just made another mistake again and again.
So I'm just curious how they wrap all that up in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like you were reading my mind, because that's actually what I'm most excited for is new dinosaurs. In each Jurassic Park movie, we get at least 1 to 2 to 3, new dinosaurs that we haven't seen before on screen. And one of those dinosaurs is this one. I do not know what this is called. but this is one of the new dinosaurs that we will see in the movie.
Yeah,
It looks like a mix between a velociraptor and maybe a T-Rex.
That's a pointysaurus is what they call those ones. Yeah, pointysaurus.
Everything is mixed with raptor. Just everything's mixed with raptor or something.
Colossal raptor.
It's the most desirable like dinosaur you want to be mixed with. It's a raptor.
Yeah, so that's what I'm most excited for is the introduction to new dinosaurs. You know, the bigger the better, the more ferocious the better.
That dude got hair.
I don't need a whole bunch of
hair.
The hell.
I don't need a whole bunch of herbivores.
It has adapted for the winter and fall.
Yeah, furry ass dinosaurs. This is wild shit. Although it is
dinosaurs we're gonna encounter in this, so I'm just really excited for that. Now, again, we've talked about how this is a franchise, and this franchise has been around for I want to say like 20 years now, right?
Yeah,
I know it would have been. This is
30.
We're going on 30.
30 years?
Yeah, this is like 30 years almost. Woo! I think it was 94 Jurassic Park came out, so almost 30 years.
So we've had a lot of content to say the least about all these dinosaurs. So my next question to you guys is, how do we rank these movies in the franchise?
I'll gladly go first while y'all are thinking. Jurassic Park, the first movie, obviously number one, and the rest of them just kind of, you could even really just package them together. They're so far from that first one, and you know, they're for me they're just about interchangeable. But I would say like this screen is probably a good representation. Just switch 2 and 3. I thought 3 was better than 2, and then and then the rest of it is whatever.
That's pretty good.
Holly.
I probably do Jurassic Park, then I do The Lost World, Jurassic World, and then Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Fallen Kingdom I feel are about the same. And then I don't know about this last one.
Okay.
I just like Jurassic World because I like because you got to actually see how they really do genetically make these dinosaurs and how they how their traits manifest in like a negative way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like, sorry, the science nerd in me. Fine.
Okay, what about you, Minnie?
I'm with her in that regard. Like, I will put Jurassic Park, the original one, first, because you know you can't get those those feelings back. Everybody remember the first time they saw the first one. Like at that moment, at that time, that was like as far as we gotten with everything when it comes to cinematronics, and you know, it was like the top of the line puppetry and shit like that. So it was dope to see when you were kids. And then I will go from that one to Jurassic World because it was kind of like the same feeling for me again, just in the aspects of CGI, like how far we had came with CGI and how real things look. So it gave me kind of the same feeling. So I'll say Jurassic Park 1, and then Jurassic World, and then everything else is falling in place, kind of like this right here.
Okay. I'm going last. You got to go with Jurassic Park. It's a classic. It's the original. I'm probably going to be with you, Minnie. I'm going to jump over The Lost World and Jurassic Park and go with this last Jurassic World. Just because I think the development of Blue was like really fascinating to see how intelligent they are.
Right.
And to the point where you start to contemplate being able to use them as super soldiers, you know, because in order to use them as super soldiers, they have to have some level of comprehension.
Right.
And Blue just far exceeds you know, like Blue is on the level of a Rin Tin Tin. She is the German Shepherd of dinosaurs when it comes to the level of an intellect and intelligence. So I would probably jump right over Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, do this last Jurassic World, and then I'll come in with Jurassic Park 3. I agree with you, Tyrone, that it was better than the Lost World. And I'd probably you could flip-flop the Lost World or in the other Jurassic World. It really wouldn't matter which one you put in that place. But that would probably be my list. and that would, pretty much be, I think this last one has the potential, just because I like Chris Pratt. I like how he acts in action movies. I think he's like a really, really good action star. And now the acquisitions of a DeWanda Wise and what's the other guy's name? I want to make sure I get it right. It's Mamoudou Athie and Omar Sy, and just adding those pieces. You got Justice Smith, who was very funny, by the way, as Franklin Webb in the last Jurassic World. His on-screen antics when in those moments when the dinosaur's about to like he's just screaming, like, I mean, like that's realistic. I think that's very realistic in terms of if a dinosaur is actually following you. I wouldn't know. I've never had a dinosaur follow me. How is it, Tyrone?
It depends on the dinosaur, depends on the day.
Cool. Thanks for that insight. All right, man. So Jurassic World is dropping again on June the 10th. Get to your latest movie theater and check it out. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Yeah, if I may, just real quick, if you haven't watched the first one in a long time and you're just kind of remembering it, I would say absolutely watch that movie again. It has aged beautifully. It's still so damn good. It was a game changer in cinema, and it still holds up. So I would say, if you're gonna go watch this new one, just pop in that first one and just enjoy it, and then take that energy into the new one.
Yeah, I think some of them are on HBO. I want to say.
Yeah, okay,
they're all on HBO right now.
Yeah, they might have. Okay. I think they might have all put them on, but I know I just watched like Lost World like last week on HBO or something.
Yeah, it was on Netflix for a while, and I think they're just. I love what these platforms are doing. They're just like, oh, I'll keep this one for about 2 weeks, and you can have it and charge your viewers to watch it. But that's cool, man. That's a great franchise, and hopefully we'll get the same stuff out of the other ones that we got that we get in this one. But moving forward, we've had some other developments happen most recently. And Holly was actually brought this to our attention, and we thought this would be the place to have this discussion. So, in recent news, these two individuals,
that picture, that's hilarious.
Modi and DL Hughley have had some words and have some differences. How about Holly? You give us a little backstory on what's going on between DL and Monique.
So basically, the rundown is they did a show in Detroit, and Monique was under the impression that she was the headliner. And supposedly, last minute, behind the scenes, DL wanted to switch things up, and then he became the headliner. And they basically were going back and forth on social media over the weekend, showing contracts, flyers, ticket stubs, both kind of presenting their evidence that they were both paid to be headliners. And Monique, in her act, I think the first 10 minutes went in on DL, and it's all on the internet. And now it's just basically a dispute of who they should be going after. Should they be after each other, the promoter? Who's right, wrong in this situation?
So now we have comedians on stage with us.
Where?
The pleasure of having comedians. I love the fact that we have comedians. Plural.
Yeah, plural.
Plural now. But to you, Minnie, first, as a comedian who has had the opportunity to be on stage with some big names and is a big name himself. Have you ever seen or heard of a situation where you have two headliners or two headliners double booked for the same show? Have you ever come across that?
I haven't been on a show per se myself, but I've heard of it before. It's not the first time. A lot of people who a lot of promoters used to just, they didn't know who's gonna say yes, so they'll ask multiple people at the same time, and then two people will say yes, then forget to tell one of them no. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, two people are showing up thinking they're gonna do it a certain amount of time. So I've seen that before. not that I've been a part of the two people, but I've seen two people show up at a show and be like thinking they're both got a certain amount of time, and then the person's like, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot, I'm gonna have you feature, and then I'm gonna have him headline because I told you first or whatever. So it's not uncommon to see. Now, if you ask me, do I feel like they should go at each other? I think they should be going at the promoter and not at each other. But that's just my personal opinion. But it's definitely, well, to answer your question, no, it's not something that is rare. You will see that. Doesn't speak well about the promoter at all, but it is something that happens.
Now, Holly, and you may be able to answer this, I'm not sure, but isn't there a history between these two? And DL Hughley and Monique, don't they have somewhat of a history?
So that's what Monique had stated, that in the past DL has made comments about her husband, her family, and so she kind of made reference to that in her act in the first 10 minutes when she was upset with DL. And so that's what she was saying, like he's just asked like crazy questions and then always kind of not been on her side when it came to like the Lee Daniels, her being blackballed in Hollywood, and her just feeling like, you know, he was against, not supportive of his sister, you know, as she would say.
Now, Tyrone, do you know anything about this situation, this ongoing dispute between Monique and DL?
I know less about their their spat, but I do know that both of them are very opinionated people. Often have something to say whenever, like, you know, something pops off, especially in comedy. So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, when they're both involved in something, they're both very loud about it. That does not surprise me at all. And you know, Monique has been somebody who's been consistently, vocal about, you know, not getting paid enough, not getting enough respect and that kind of stuff. So, you know, she's established herself as somebody who's not going to take shit. And, you know, so, and, you know, DL is, again, very, you know, he's very, I'm going to say what I think about what I think. So this is not a surprise at all. And I imagine it'll carry on for a day or so, and then it'll, like, you know, go back into hibernation until they cross paths again. And it just gets.
I have a question for everybody on here. Okay, so my question is, of the two, who do you think, if you're going to have someone headline your comedy show and attract people, should it be DL or Monique? Minnie.
Damn. I was hoping you say Tyrone. But
I don't mind.
Question. But I'll say what that's a good ass question. I grew up with DL as one of the people that I thought were hilarious. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. A lot of people, and by a lot of people I mean comedians, don't find DL the funniest. A lot of people don't. They just don't. I hear it all the time. I go crazy when I hear it because I'm like, "What you mean?" Ah! But there's a lot. That's a consensus with a lot of comedians that I've gone through in the 10 years that I've been doing this. I hear it. Now, I believe that he's hilarious, and I grew up with him thinking that he was hilarious. But to be fair, I love Monique's act, though. Like, I've never seen Monique do a bad show. Like, I've never seen Monique do a bad act. She always goes ham. She has great points. Her like, the way she moves on stage, because DL is more of a straight, you know, maybe some couple facial, but he's more of a straight talker. You know, Monique's gonna move around and do all this and all that, and I just enjoy it. So that's why it's a hard question. But like, man, that's hard. But I would trust DL more because I've seen him last. I haven't seen Monique in a while.
Okay, Tyrone.
I think DL's name on a ticket would probably be more of a draw, but for me, if I'm always thinking about the quality of the show. So if somebody's got 25 and somebody's got 52 an hour, I want the hour to go to Monique because she's stronger as a comic, I think.
Okay, Ty.
I'd have to agree 100% with Tyrone as far as Monique. Not just because she's funny, but if you look at her resume, she has a very, very good argument. I mean, we're talking about Emmy nominated, Grammy nominated, or something like that.
I don't know about
she won an Oscar.
Yeah, she did win an Oscar. Yeah.
Oscar. She won an Oscar for Precious. She had her own syndicated show that had multiple seasons. She was one of the original queens of comedy, and she closed the show. So she would like out of the Queens of Comedy, she was the most prolific at the time. After that is when the blackballing occurred, and then we didn't see Monique anymore. But that doesn't take away from her accomplishments that she had accrued before that. And me and my wife were talking about this earlier, which is one of the reasons that I brought this topic up, because we got into a heated debate. Because Tyrone, you made a very good point. Monique is very vocal. She's very vocal, and so is DL Hughley. But I don't really know too many comics that aren't vocal, especially if they feel attacked. And so what we were arguing about was she felt as though Monique needs to temper her emotions when it comes to how she reacts to these situations. And my complaint was that isn't that what continues to cause these things to be allowed to happen, is the fact that we're always tempering our emotions. So what happens is in those situations where you really feel like a person is really taking advantage of you. Like, for instance, we just spoke about her accomplishments. Now, her argument with Netflix was she went in with an asking price, I believe, of $10 million. They resisted her $10 million and maybe gave her a counter offer. I don't know the depth of that conversation.
I think they did, but it was only like 500,000. I think it was like less than a million.
It was a deliberate smack in the face.
Yeah.
Because what Netflix then did after that was they gave a special to one Amy Schumer, where they paid her millions of dollars. And I watched that special, and it was absolutely terrible. I mean, like, it was not funny at all. I was
Monique
like,
runs laps around Amy Schumer.
Him. So my point that I was saying to her was, I used the Chris Rock situation. And I said, when Chris Rock got smacked in his face, what happened was so many people applauded him for not reacting, because he was called, he was like, oh, we applaud him for being, holding his emotions together in that moment, and doing what was the honorable thing and the respectable thing and all of those things. But what I said was, the reality is, if he had reacted in an aggressive manner, then he's villainized for being this aggressive and violent individual and all of that kind of stuff, because we didn't see it. But I can almost guarantee you that if he had reacted, there would have been those same people who applauded him for not reacting, going and saying, oh, yo, that's terrible. That was a terrible look right there, Chris. You should have been more of a this or that, and you should have just been. And I have a problem with that, because I feel like that in essence is what keeps us so bogged down, is this continued idea that when we're treated wrong, we should accept it and just be the bigger person. That rule of be the bigger man in the situation, be the bigger person. So we got into it where I said, Monique really feels like she's just continually being abused, not physically, but like in a very continual state. Like, we just talked about all of her, and you offer this woman 500 grand, 500. Netflix, y'all are throwing money at comedians we haven't even heard of. I watch comedians on Netflix all the time I've never even heard of. A lot of them aren't that good. Some of them are, but I mean, they're getting thrown money to do
Netflix.
Yeah, right.
So this brought up a question to me that I want to pose to the panel, and that is integrity is your integrity more or less important than success? So meaning, is it okay to take whatever you need to take in order to be successful, or do you have a moral obligation to yourself not to allow people to continually abuse you? I'm gonna pose that question to you, Holly, first.
Okay. So what does Michelle Obama say? When they go low, we go high. But what I'm going to say to that is that I think, sorry, dog's going crazy. What I'm going to say to that is I kind of feel, I understand, Monique. I think you do need to speak out, but I think there's a way you do it. And I think personally, I do think she should have spoken up, but I don't know. I just think the tact, she could have went about it just a different way, because to say DL had some documentation that said this was this, and she had documentation that said she was the headliner. So really, I felt like instead of coming at him, which I think was his point, was like, why don't you go behind the scenes and then you get lawyers, and then maybe she just becomes known as a person that just be suing people. Don't try me because I will sue you and tie you up in court forever and ever and ever, and then people won't try her. Versus is like, you also have to think about marketability. Like, if you're always known to, that's just what it is. And I think people can still get what they want in a way if they're tactful about it. You can still speak up, express your opinion. But I think at the same time, like, if someone's always just speaking up and not doing it in a way that's like where you're throwing other people under the bus or you're coming at people, I think it's just like you got to be tactful in how you do it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think everyone should speak up, but there's just a way to do it where I think you can actually end up getting more out of the situation than I think she's even going to get, because now now everyone's divided, where she would have went behind the scenes, sued their ass. She would have got a nice check. She would have had public favor. Then like, damn, Monique, like, I don't know. I just think it could have went just a lot differently, like in terms of optics. That's all.
Well, can't she still sue? I mean, like that, like nobody's not off the table.
No, she is going to sue them, but I'm saying, like, at the same time, but you literally have just been going back and forth on social media with a grown ass man and you're a grown ass woman. like everyone is literally hopping from page to page. The YouTube is going crazy with bloggers just trying to keep up with what each other's throwing at each other. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, don't y'all make enough to make, like, delegate this stuff to other people to handle on your behalf? And
the answer to that question might be no, with those two. Not that it's like, I'm not throwing shade or anything, but comedy isn't always the highest paying thing. And DL and Monique,
DL has a radio show.
Oh, DL has a radio show, because he's probably doing okay.
And a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure they've got money and stuff, but like, I don't know if they have like, hey, go have a social media argument for me money. You know what I mean? Like that might be a bit of a stretch.
Like a PR team. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know this, but I think there is a misconception that, like, if you're a famous comedian, you're rich. And that is not always the case. And sometimes it's like sad how much that's not the case.
Yeah, but she got blackballed for how many years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I get speaking up, but I think there's a way to do it. And like now Lee Daniels finally came out and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, but 13 years later, like after, like
who's going next? Sorry, Ed.
Yeah.
I don't want to start jumping in.
No. You were going next because you started talking, so I just let you go ahead and go and lead into your theory. Okay.
Well, because Holly made a really good point right there with the 13 years thing. 13 years later. So I imagine that Monique wasn't quiet about it initially, and so I imagine she probably tried to do a lot to get herself the respect she deserves behind the scenes. And that's the problem with behind the scenes, is that nobody sees it, so it's really easy to be written off. It's really easy to be ignored. I wish I had some of the courage that Monique has to stand up for herself in the way that she does, especially being a Black woman in comedy. If the most underrated and undervalued person in comedy is a Black woman. Like, you could talk about, just if you talk about the all-time greats in comedy, a lot of times people leave off names that are so important to the comedy game. But, just because it's just like, you think of men first, that's just kind of how the list goes. Well, that's the same thing with people like promoters and people like, people who do shows and audiences and comics themselves. So, I think this has been something that's been a thing for a long time for Monique. So whenever she gets it, whenever she has it happen to her, she's like, nah, not again. Nope. Fuck this. You know what I mean? And I understand that completely. Like if if the roles were reversed and DL had that position, and Monique came in after, however it worked, they wouldn't have shuffled DL for like they shuffled Monique. They would have put DL up last. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have done that. But like, that's the kind of behavior that is expected to be. You're expected to kind of lay down and take it when you're in somebody like Monique's position. And I really appreciate that she doesn't. I think that it's I think when she stands up and does it vocally and does it outwardly and publicly, it adds even more strength to what she's doing, because you're just expected to just take shit like that, and you shouldn't be.
But does it though? Is it really helping other Black women comedians? Is it really helping Black? Like, I mean, I don't really. I think it's good that she speaks up, but I don't know if it's really been helpful or had the positive effect that she's aiming for. I'm just I don't know.
We're gonna come back to that really quick, but I want to hear Minnie's theory real quick, and then we'll address that, because that's where my wife's standpoint is, and I definitely have something to say about that. But go ahead, Minnie.
Oh yeah. Well, the question that you asked was, do I have is there a moral thing that, moral compass, I guess, or is it like, would I let things go because of what it's gonna do for me? I would not. I do have a moral compass. I do have to stand on my own 10, and whatever I feel like or whatever I believe in, I'm gonna say it. Especially in this day and age, because back in the days, it was easier to blackball somebody. Especially even when Monique got blackballed, it was easier to blackball somebody back then. Social media wasn't something that's popping as it is now. It was popping, but you couldn't get the monetary backing that you can get right now from just social media itself. So you can get blackballed just back in the days real easily by standing for something, for whatever. These days you can stand for something and everybody can see you. So there's gonna be the people who will, be with you, and the people who won't be with you. And there's a billion people in the world. Even if it's only a million motherfuckers with me, that's good enough to keep me where I'm at. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to like monetary wise, like if I have a million people behind me, that's gonna move the needle regardless. And there's a billion people out here. So you should always stand for what you believe in, regardless of what it is, because people can see that now. It's not like back in the days where they can hide you and be like, oh, well, the world will never see you, and they will never know what kind of belief you have. Now, it's not like that no more. Now, you run that risk. You run that risk of people not liking you, and you burning bridges, and you having not financial opportunities that might go away because of what you said. But if that's what you believe in and that's how you feel, then you should stand by that, regardless of what happens monetary wise. That's the way I see it. I'm not saying everybody should see it that way or that's the way everybody does it, but that's the way I see it. When it comes to them, honestly, I wish us, not even comedy, just us in general, I wish we treated Black as like the house rule. Like when we in public, ain't nobody know shit going down. But we behind doors, we gonna run that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about when it comes to everything, when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to whatever it is. If these two Black folks, man, just leave all the drama away from the people's eyes. We got drama, we got static between each other. Let's take it between each other, but let's keep it forward.
That's what I'm saying.
Because people don't understand. So people don't get it. Sometimes, like let's say me and Tyrone homies, and I can fuck with Tyrone can fuck with me back. Somebody be watching that and they might really take it serious and not know what's going on. Sometimes you just gotta keep the real drama and the real static, keep it away from the social media, keep it from the eyes who might not understand how we get down. Because sometimes we take it far, but sometimes we, as quick as we take it far, as quick as we back loving each other. And there's other people who don't understand that.
Well, I would agree with you if we had a more united front. If we had a more united front, then it would be more logical to talk behind doors. If we were as close as brothers and sisters with the Black community as the words brothers and sisters actually constitutes, then it would mean that we could have those kind of conversations behind those doors. But the problem is that we are divided, and there are individuals who don't really, they may identify as Black, but they don't support Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, if every chance you get to tear down another Black person, you take that opportunity, then you're not representing your blackness to the fullest. If you take
That's what
those
Monique was saying.
opportunities every chance you get to tear down another black person, then you're not taking full advantage of your blackness. I wanted to bring up this word because that was the root of the discussion. Integrity. Integrity is defined as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. That doesn't mean that how I convey whatever I'm feeling to you should be under
examination.
Okay.
We know that Monique is loud. She's loud normally. That's just she was raised loud. I was raised loud. Sometimes I talk loud and people think I'm and that's just the way that I talk. I'm not really upset, but I speak passionately about what it is that I feel. And
Right.
I feel like in the moments that she's up there on stage, she is speaking passionately from a place of going through this for years and years and years. Like Tyrone said, we do not know what's going on behind the scenes. But what we do know is publicly, people like Tyler Perry, people like Oprah, people like D.L. Hughley, all had something to say and chime in when she came and she said she was being blackballed by Hollywood, and that Lee Daniels had a lot to do with it. Nobody wanted to hear her argument. She sounded like an angry black woman. But the truth came out that she wasn't lying. Like she was absolutely valid in what she was doing. So now we feel like she should continue after going through all of this, yelling, screaming, all of that at the top of her lungs. Nobody heard her. So now she should be passive and quiet, and then somehow we'll understand her plight and help her. No,
I don't think that's what it is. No, I think it's like, but I think it's like how she goes on her social media and makes these long posts. It's like, why even dig at DL? Why not make a post and educate people like, hey, this is how the contract should run. This is why this is doing this. Like, I think making it like that's what I'm saying to her is like, clearly you speaking up is creating divisiveness and it's not having the effect I think you want it, you're intending it like it's like intent versus impact. I think her intent is to educate us to say this has been happening, but the impact is not landing how I think she wants it to land. So my thing is, why can't she take a different approach to still speak up, but it's done like whether it's through social media, she makes YouTube videos, hey my babies, like she always does, come follow me, sign this petition. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, I agree with her. I think everybody should speak up and say what they have to say. But I think there's different ways we can try to get our voice out. And Monique has so many platforms that I think she can do it. I'm all for Black women and empowering Black women. I just sometimes think like if one way isn't working and you continue to try, that's just insanity. Try something else. That's all I'm saying.
But is this about empowerment? I don't think that was her intent. I don't think at all it was about empowerment. I think it's.
Yes, it was. Her post literally said.
I know what her post said. When I'm saying in reference of the passion that she speaks with. I think that comes from a place of you constantly feeling like you've been underappreciated, undervalued, all of the things that go along with her rants. These are rants,
right? But she says she always says to our people though, to my brothers and sisters. So yes, it's her, but I think she's just saying an observation of Black people as a whole. Like that's what she's saying. I always fight for my people when I speak up, because I think just the constant oppression. And I'm just saying like, there are people with her, but I think it just creates this divisiveness because the same things. If you look at what people are saying on DL, a lot of comedians were, in the comments just bashing her when it's like, I think they both had something valid to say. I just think the point is missed.
I do think there's room for us to get to a place where people can express their emotions and express their frustration without having their thoughts and their feelings invalidated. So just because Monique came on strong, just because she was she was assertive and very frank in what she was saying, doesn't mean she was wrong, and it doesn't mean she didn't have the right to stand up for herself. I think a lot of people get afforded that ability, and it comes off as standing up for yourself, or it comes off as being brave or being heroic. And I think some people don't get afforded that ability. I think everybody here understands, you know, how that skews and how that looks for different people. So, you know, when I see somebody like Monique, you know, really getting, you know, emotional, expressing herself, and, you know, really getting at it, you know, I applaud it in a way, because I want it to be a world where we could all be as messy as we want to be without, you know, being discounted completely. You know what I mean? Because some people get to be messy. You know, they out here celebrating Johnny Depp like he's damn just won the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
white people can do that.
Right, exactly. But that's what I want. I want a world where we could be messy too.
But we're just not. But that's not where we are.
That's what we got. We got to be aggressively messy until people just get used to that shit. Gloves are off. Let's just do it.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why this really affects me very strongly, and I get really passionate and excited about this, is because just last week, I know, just last week, a friend of the show, and I don't even want to say her name because I don't know if she's okay with me saying it, but I'll just say that a friend of the show had an incident, and she was minding her business at a restaurant, and a white gentleman just starts yelling out at her and her friend the N-word. Not at all. They didn't like say anything to this guy. There was nothing that he did to him. He just, other than just being in his space, he starts calling them the N-word. And so at that point, what he this is a public establishment. There are other men, black men there, and these are females. There are other black men there that don't open their mouth or say nothing in the midst of this man going off and calling these women out of their name. The man continues to call them out of their name through I'd say probably like a 2-minute period of just calling them out of their name, then approaches like he's going to do something to them. Now, there was another gentleman that was standing right there, that I guess another black gentleman that I guess called the police, or the police were there or something like that, called him over, and they escorted the gentleman out, right? And so in the comment section, all of these people were like, yo, you know, kudos to you for keeping it together, you know, and you know, don't let them steal your energy and everything like that. And when I heard all of these things, because I hear this a lot, that's big of you to take the high road and all of that. This is the same mentality that kept us enslaved. You realize that, like, that's the same type of thinking and way of thinking that allowed us to remain enslaved as long as it did. It was that mentality that we don't want to ruffle the feathers because it might get us all killed. Well, damn it, we're getting killed anyway. So like you're not at the point of our freedom came at bloodshed. Bloodshed had to happen in order for us to free ourselves. And a lot of times this mentality that has us so like, oh, we want to keep our jobs, we want to maintain our appearance, we want to do all of those things. That behavior is continuing to allow these things to continue to happen to us. If Monique doesn't get up there and go through her rant, whether it seems like she's being ghetto, loud, obnoxious, whatever people want to say it is, if she doesn't do that, this same behavior continues and continues and continues, because that's what it's been happening. Yeah, I seen the comment section say, where's the other black female comedians? They're shutting up because they know that if they open their mouths, that this could possibly happen to them. The fear factor is why they're not speaking, not because they disagree with her, but it's the fear factor. And we have to get out of that mindset of being so afraid to the point where you're like, I'm going to choose success over integrity. Integrity is knowing and feeling something inside of yourself, knowing it's wrong, and addressing it no matter what the outcome is. I'm one of those people. I will say what I mean and mean what I say. And at the end of the day, whatever falls on me, I have to live with that, because that's something I choose to live by and how I choose to live by. So Tyrone, I understand what you're saying. Holly, I totally understand what you're saying because my wife and me just got into it about this. But I'm saying
now I see Amy in the comments.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, girl, thank you, girl, thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the
wait, those girls didn't call Brian Crump. Listen, if they need Brian Crump's number, he'll put it together a press conference and sue them. Just let me know. I have handed his number out before. Just let me know.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so all right, so I who doesn't agree with what you're saying? If you don't agree with what you're saying, just get out the comments or stand up right now and just leave the room. Because we all are in agreement of what you're saying, obviously. Now, this is my point. There's two things you can do. I've been in that position before. I've been that guy who's been called the N-word in front of everybody, and I've had people around me. By the way, that's not the first time. If you remember 2 weeks ago, the black girl got called the N-word and got beat up by the white dude at the 7-Eleven, and there's a black guy who watched the whole thing. If y'all forgot that part, and that was in Florida. That was in Florida. So this is not an uncommon thing. But two things that I will say. One, to me, those are two different subjects. Reason why? Because we'll talk about black on black. I'm saying if it's between both of us, then we could take it to, you know what I'm saying, take it to where we can understand it. We ain't got to put it out in everybody's business. We're talking about black on black. We're talking about D.L. Hughley's black, so is she. You see what I'm saying? So that, to me, that's a big difference. The second thing,
they suffer from the mentality that was instilled in them.
I get the mentality you're saying. You're saying that don't ruffle feathers mentality. But what I'm trying to say is stop making these motherfuckers look at us even more crazier than what they already look at us by making shit way bigger than what it is. It could have been an easy conversation between both of them and shit would have been smashed. It didn't have to be a whole thing on whatever social media was. It honestly could have been an easy conversation between both of them. Now they both look retarded and crazy. And even more so to people who don't understand how we are, who are the people who sadly will end up having to still sign that motherfucking paycheck. Unless we can sign the paycheck for ourselves, then we got to keep our drama shit to the side. We want to go ahead and be all free and be crazy and all that. That's cool. But then we got to talk to this nigga to go ahead and sign all our paychecks. What's his name? Tyler Perry. Because otherwise, you're going to have to abide by other motherfuckers' rules. Just the way it is. Now, the second thing by the thing with the girl, I get it. But there's two things she could have done, which is what Holly's saying. It's not saying she was wrong. It's saying the way she did it, she was wrong. Now, that girl could have, or the dude watching that didn't do anything could have done two things. He could have called the cops like he did, or could have beat his ass. There's two ways to do it. You know what I'm saying? So he chose to call the cops and not beat his ass. Monique chose to beat his ass in public. You know what I'm saying? And beat you. But it's not like what you're seeing is not like a right or wrong response when it comes to her. It was the right response. It was the wrong way to go about it. It was the right response. She's supposed to talk out. She's supposed to say what happened. She's supposed to do all that. She's supposed to look out for us. She's supposed to let us know how things really run, especially the young black girls who are trying to get in. But there's a way to do it. Once you're going to keep looking like that crazy black woman over and over again, whether it's right or wrong, it is what it is. That's what you look like. And sadly, once again, unless we're willing to put money into us and sign our own paychecks, you can't be looking like the crazy black lady and want to get 10 million from Netflix, because Netflix is not black only. It's not going to look out for you.
I feel what Ty's saying here, because the game is rigged, right? If the game is rigged, if you don't act this way, then I'm not going to take you seriously. But also, if you don't act this way, there's no incentive for me to treat you with respect. I'm just going to keep shitting on you as much as I want. But as soon as you start to get a little bit crazy and act this way, then I'm like, oh, nope. Now you're not playing the game the way I want you to play it. So
that's a fact. But if it was a black and white issue,
right? Oh, but hold on, just saying. When we talk about, we have to change our behavior in order to change that behavior. That's where that's where the game being rigged stuff starts to come in, because the onus is not on us to earn the respect that we deserve. It's on them to give the respect at a baseline, right? Well, now we get into the how do you change it and that kind of stuff. I don't fucking know. But but what we can do.
If the promoter was white,
I don't even think it matters whether the promoter was.
It doesn't. But I'm just saying, do we even know? Because imagine the fact.
No, we just know he's a janky promoter.
We don't even know if the promoter's white.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think I think if you feel the way Monique felt, and if you want to go with things the way Monique did, I think you should be able to do that without it being a problem for an entire race of people. And I understand that that's not the way the world sees it right now. But eventually we got to stop playing by these rules and start making our own rules and just dealing with the consequences. But being like, hey, we're not playing this fucking game. It's going to be a harder road. Yeah. But
yeah, Martin Luther died trying to do that too, going about it against.
Well, he was doing it the nice way. Malcolm X.
But he was still, he was still going.
I mean, he was getting on their nerves, but he was doing it the nice way, the way you were supposed to be doing it, the legal way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say anything about Dr. King.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Dr. King was a conformist. And what I'm talking about is just standing on your own individuality, standing on your own freedom. My wife asked me if we were celebrating Juneteenth. I said, what are we celebrating? She said, our freedom. I said, weren't we already free?
Yeah, they found out late.
How do you celebrate something that you're born with? I'm already born free. They just imprisoned me. I was still free.
Not all slaves were born free, because some were already, like, their parents were already enslaved. So they
found out late.
Golly, you sound like my wife. Y'all are fixated on words. What I'm saying is you're born free. When you're born free. You're born free. Like a person can imprison you, but they cannot, like, this idea of freedom has changed through the slave, because we look at it from a slave lens, But if we look at it
slave lens, or like a historical lens of like what actually happened in America.
I'm saying, I said what I said. We look through it as from a slave lens, because your mentality is that were we born free? Yes, we're born free. We're human beings. The idea that we look at ourselves differently than any other human being is because we look through a different type of lens, not a historical lens. We look through it through a slave lens. That's why we're over here arguing about a woman speaking passionately about being abused. And now she's appearing to be a crazy Black woman. I'm not saying, don't take this personally, because I'm not trying to direct anything at you or Amy.
No, I hear you. I just, like I said, I think I don't agree with your word choice. So that's why I said, keep going. I just don't agree with your word choice.
Okay, that's fine. But again, man, we're getting into a whole nother, I'm running off on a tangent. I feel so bad.
That's why I said, I was like, I hear you.
This is a great conversation that I really want to have, because I really do feel that once we start looking at ourselves differently, then the ideals and the ideas that we have about our structure of our culture will change. But as long as we continue to, and that was the initial argument, is your integrity worth more than your success? Because if you have people that are more fixated on the integrity part, then all of these things where we're talking about the game being rigged, we know that the game is rigged. But if we stand on our integrity, we won't allow the game to dictate how we move. We move, and the game has to be dictated around us. There are individuals out here that have moved like that their entire lives. They may not be successful, but they're the happiest individuals in the world, because they don't allow other people to dictate how they function. And that's a whole, like I said, that's a whole nother discussion. And I definitely want to open the door for you guys to have that discussion another day when we have more time. We weren't able to get to everything today, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Really, really quickly, I'll try to run through this super fast. Ahsoka Tano is coming out. We're not going to really tap into it, but keep your eyes posted for this. This is going to be huge. Also, most recently, what do we got? Candy is a really good show on Hulu. Go check it out. It stars Jessica Biel and her husband, Justin Timberlake. Go check this one out, guys. This is a really fun one. This is on Hulu. Candy. Also, This is one of my personal favorites. Y'all can thank Tyrone for putting me onto this. But We Own This City is on HBO Max. If you were a fan of The Wire, then you will be a fan of this. This is based on a true story. Everything in it is true. Look, I got that from the source, Tyrone Thornhill himself, my our resident almanac. You know what I'm saying? But We Own This City is really, really good. It has an all-star cast. It stars what was her name on Lovecraft?
Yep, I forgot her name on Lovecraft.
Okay, you guys are not. All right, cool. All right, so I wanted to say her real name, which is Wunmi Mosaka. Masaku. All right, I'm sorry if I messed it up. But
she's brilliant.
Also stars Marlo as a cop this time. So those are some of the ones that I would some of the must-watch TV shows that we would recommend. You also have The Boys, which drops June 3rd. New season of that. Go check it out. Love, Death, and Robots. Absolutely amazing. Tyrone is now finally finished season 3, and he can also agree that this is one of the best seasons thus far of Love, Death, and Robots. It was absolutely brilliant. Some really, really good artwork and visuals. Stranger Things 4 is currently out. And look, there's not much to say. It's Stranger Things. If you've seen the first 3 seasons, you want to see the culmination. If this is the culmination of this saga as well. And last but not least, Obi-Wan Kenobi is out for your viewing pleasure on Disney Plus. Go check it out. Series, the first 2 episodes were fire, and that's about where we'll leave it at. So I ran through that pretty fast. I feel good about myself. Thank you for that 30 minutes, whatever. But appreciate everybody in the comment section. Yes, honey, I still love you despite you being wrong. But
that ain't right.
I'm just
speaking
playing,
up.
man.
That ain't
You're
right.
always right. You're always right. I'm always wrong. You know. But listen, thank you everyone who came in. Look, everybody who's pulling up now. My boy Jay. Everybody. I want to shout out the Financial Griot. I want to shout out a podcast called TBD. Shout out A New Blurred Order. Shout out to anybody I missed. Minnie, what was yours? Laugh Marathon.
Laugh Marathon, yeah, that's my company, yeah.
That's the company, Laugh Marathon. So shout outs to all of the people that support us, all of the people that are tuning in. This was another fun show. I promised somebody that we would do something that we haven't done this season, and that's bring back my man Bernie. Specifically for them, they had people talking about them and just trying to make them feel like they were less than. This is a Black woman. She's a very close friend of mine. And I told her last night, and I'll tell you again before I let Bernie say it to you. Listen, you cannot be caught up with the way people think about you. If you know you are a good person, if you know you are a legit human being, stay in that. Live in that. Celebrate that. Don't celebrate people talking about you, because people, they don't have nothing better to do than talk about you. And that's a good thing. Hey, like Kat said, try to get you more haters this year. I'm all about it. Hate on. Bring the hate. Bring it this way. We love it over here. We love it. We relish in it. But listen, be your best version of yourself. Make sure you always being real. Look, we're gonna let my man Bernie wrap us up. Anything else on the way out, guys?
Nothing. You guys are awesome. This is why Black America is great, because we can do things like this. Different shades from all different backgrounds, have real legitimate and intelligent conversations, and still love each other. So that part.
Absolutely. Yes, I do love all of y'all except for Holly, because she gets on my nerves. But,
this is what happens when you speak up, guys, and you stand in your integrity. Like, they just hate you for it. Listen. I disagree.
I love my family, man. But listen, we're gonna let Bernie wrap us up, and then we'll wrap up with the outro. But until next week, we are the Multiverse. We love you, and we out.
Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you if you're being yourself, fuck them. Let me tell you something. I used to go with a girl when I was about your age. I tried to please her Peppy all the time. Went out my way to please her Peppy. I come in one day, I said, nice weather we have. Said, you can't say that. You can't say that, it might rain. I said, nice tie you got on. So you can't say that. My wife tried to choke me with it. Point I'm trying to tell you, son, is be yourself. People don't like how you be yourself. Fuck them. Fuck them up against the wall. Wear handcuffs on and crazy through on their lips. That's all you do.
Words to live by.
You live by them, son.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the club now, Uncle Vester, and just go.
You go and enjoy yourself, boy.
Until next week, guys. Peace.
He's gone. The man right now.
Fuck it, I'm
He's
out.
got a whole other conversation to have with his wife right now. God damn it, Holly, you fucked it up.
No, Amy and I are chatting right now. Amy and I are chatting right now. She's like, Holly, thank you.
I kicked myself out. Yo, listen, great show, guys. We were able to wrap that. We were able to wrap that last joint up in record time. But listen, this is a great conversation, and I feel like we need to have that. We definitely need to have. There's definitely a lot of facets to that conversation that I hope that we can all appreciate. I and Holly, you know, I love you. It's never anything against you or anybody else, but I do very much. I am very passionate when it comes to. I hold on, babe. Oh, I'm still live. Wow. Hold on, guys.